quite productive day. So first I would like to have our chairperson of the board of our network to give a reflection of the day, and then I will chip in.
I have to look serious. I really think this is, and I tried to say it in my previous comments, I think that this is a rather surprisingly successful development in communications with European institutions, and everybody who has experience in this process can, I think, agree with that a network that is, I think, a very interesting case study of how a project develops into something bigger, how a project, once stopping to ending as a project, becomes a registered network, how this registered network with a very spontaneous strategy based on experience of how many, 5 or 7 years?
It's 201.
201. So almost 9 years. We are almost as old as the office in Croatia. We learned a lot, and then that's, I think, where the roots of our success are. I mean, we have been obviously respected in the last year by very important decision makers in the Commission about how the support to civil society in the region will be structured, how the decisions will be made, and I must say that from one meeting to the next, I'm surprised by the development which goes in favor of what we are saying, which means that we have been listened to. And there is obviously some kind of synergy there. There are joint interests. Some of them we do understand, some of them we probably don't, we won't, we don't have to. But it's obviously, if I just try to remember the big conference in Brussels, it was 2 years ago, right? When the civil society facility was announced, it was perceived by the civil society organizations as a catastrophe. This conference, that had like 400 or 350 organizations, was something that nobody understood what was going on, and we are learning to understand the language that these structures talk to us, and we are really, I think, adapting very fast to them. I think that we have opened some very important issues today, that we have been very direct and, as usual, very blunt about what we think are the right ways to do things, and we have also listened to the reasons why things are still not working. But after this meeting, I'm in a bigger optimism than I was before coming here. Most of it, I think, comes from the fact that Tanya is a hard-working, pregnant woman, so much equality, and that she really prepared, as usually, I say already as usual, a very good paper, which is useful for everybody who can read it. Sorry?
It's not on my credits.
No, you systematized it. We contributed it, but we knew that by sending what we sent to you, this will be put in a form that will satisfy both our interests and the interests of the Commission. And I think that if we would, Tanya will systematize the conclusions in the good way that she does those things. And that will be done, I'm sure you'll be surprised how fast. Okay. I think that I would just like to pick up some words that have been said, especially in the last session. I liked very much the word investment. I think we should really think about it and change this paradigm. We are not an expense. We are an investment. A long-term investment in Europeanization of the Balkans. And I think this is also the idea that is now slowly growing even in the political field of the part of the Commission. The second is I found very interesting the formulation that Nathan said, that it's extending the arm of the government in civil society. I think it's very interesting as long as this arm doesn't strangle us. because this arm can really, if not controlled, have very negative effects. I was very amused by our Boston friends who are always full of very tragic humor when they say that EU funding is in fact euthanasia of the sector. And I thought, it was a very funny formulation, but there is a part of truth in that I want to amuse you, entertain you, to be more concise. I think that what was also very present is that we should be very careful about not over-structuring this social dialogue and not creating structures without really filling it with the content and without not allowing it to live in much more freedom than strong structures can bring us. I think we should also use, and that was not mentioned, it was more mentioned, Chuck and I talked about it. There are other European institutions, not directly linked to the Commission, more or less, but we are not using enough the Council of Europe. And I think the Council of Europe should be one of the tools that we are using in promoting some of the ideas we have. I don't know how many of you are aware that there is a code of participation which has been accepted by the Council of Europe. Nobody mentioned it, nor from our side, nor from the side of the European Commission. This is a tool that should help civil dialogue. It is a book of recipes, not to be used by everybody. Some can cook the way they want, but the basic recipes are there. And I think that we should also promote these things as well. And I think that what was also very present is that there is a real need, I think Amra said it, of the political pressure, or what's it called from Albania, I'm not sure. But there is a need for more political pressure of the Commission on the governments to install this social dialogue as much as possible.
Yeah, just to continue what Mirinka said, like it was basically just to go back to kind of the goals that we outset for the workshop today. Say we're presenting our findings, which I'm, we made a reference that this is still a draft policy paper and we want to present it and discuss it with you. So I'm very happy that at least based on the discussions that we have, kind of confirming again in our discussions that the not just the findings but also the recommendations that we came forward are kind of being plus minus reflected, with some minor additions actually that we have: the issue of networking, the issue of incentivizing the public authorities to cooperate and develop and implement civil dialogue, and similar suggestions that will surely find their way into the recommendation of our policy paper in its final version. What I think, and you probably all noted, especially in the session when we had the European Commission and European institution representatives, that there is actually a very important discussion coming, and in before discussion and after discussion, I think we kind of can say that with this teaser of whether civil dialogue and civil society development should become an EU key. I'm very happy that it really instigated a debate, and it was mentioned in the teaser. But as we have seen today in the discussion, what we can conclude that basically what we need is a base and a balance, and maybe put in the words of some other Commission official that I talked to yesterday, high-level official, which mentioned, are you sure whether you want civil dialogue and civil society development to be EU key? Because you know that EU key gets negotiated so in the process of accession. But if it's part of the political criteria, then we're actually talking about principles, and we're talking about the spirit. And then this is not something that is actually being kind of negotiated. And basically this goes back to our discussion and concluding that what we need in civil dialogue is not to overstructure. We have heard this, reverberate in the discussion too much. Maybe as Sergeant put it well, I think, we need to structure the inputs. And